Good day, BA third year students. To continue with Matthew Arnold's poem, The Scholar Gypsy, yesterday we did 5 stanzas and we studied that the scholar gypsy had left the University of Oxford and he has started living with the gypsies, and he wants to learn their art and their mystery, and he wants to spread the knowledge into the world. Now, to continue, the 6th stanza. This said, he left them and returned no more. But rumours hung about the countryside that the lost scholar long was seen to stray, seen by rare glimpses, pensive and tongue-tied, in hat of antique shape and cloak of grey. The same the gypsies wore. The shepherds had met him on the Hurst in spring, at some lone alehouse in the Berkshire moors, on the warm ingle bench, and smock-frocked boors had found him seated at their entering. So yesterday we studied that after living for a long time with the gypsies, the scholar gypsy chanced to meet his two fellow scholars, two of his batchmates, maybe classmates, and he said that his education did not stop with the leaving of the University of Oxford, but he said that I had been living with the gypsies and I had learned the secret of their art, and he desired that he will impart that knowledge to the world. And so in this stanza he says that after saying this thing to his two fellow friends, he left them and he returned no more. But there were rumors in the air that sometimes he was seen somewhere or some other place. And the lost scholar long was seen to stray. Now, because he was a lost scholar, why this adjective is being added to scholar? Because he was never seen at one place. Whenever you traced him at one place, he got lost and he went to another place. Why? Because he has inherited now, not inherited, but he has learned the art of not staying at one place and moving from one place to another place. So, he was seen by rare glimpses, pensive and tongue-tied. Somewhere he was seen around the brook or the river. Sometimes he was seen around the field, in some ale house. So he was never seen on one particular place where he could be traced regularly, but by rare glimpses somewhere or some other place he was seen. And his mood was generally pensive, thoughtful and tongue-tied. He used to speak less. And living with the gypsies, he had also adopted their ways of living, their ways of dressing sense also. If you notice that he used to wear now the hat of antique shape and a cloak of grey. He had also adopted their particular way of dresses, and anybody could tell that he was a gypsy looking at him. And as the same the gypsies wore, he used to wear the same sort of clothes. And sometimes the shepherds, they met him on a hurst means a small hill in spring, and sometimes he was seen around the ale house in Berkshire moors means wild place. Now on the warm ingle bench. What do you mean by ingle bench? A fireplace where around which people sit to warm their bodies. And he used to wear smock-frocked boots. Among the smock-frocked boors means ruffians. He was seen amid the ruffians, and the boors, they had found him seated at their entering. They normally found him amid him sitting besides the fire. Next stanza. But mid their drink and clatter he would fly, and I myself seem half to know thy looks, and put the shepherd's wanderer on thy trace, and boys who in lone wheat fields scare the rooks. I ask if thou had passed their quiet place, or in my boat I lie, moored to the cool bank in the summer heats. Mid wide grass meadows, which the sunshine fills, and watch the warm green muffled Cumnor hills, and wonder if thou hauntest thy shy secret retreats. Now, we can see very clearly that the author or the speaker is very curious to know the places where this scholar gypsy visits. He would love to meet the scholar gypsy, but he does not meet the scholar gypsy, but he can find his traces. So he says that when the scholar gypsy used to spend his time in the ale house, so he was always surrounded by ruffians, boors, and amid their drink and clatter he would fly. Means he would not stay at a particular place for a long period of time. And I myself half seem to know thy looks. Now he says that in my quest for finding the scholar gypsy, I feel that I really know, I half know how do you look like. And generally the speaker, he asks the shepherds and the wanderers that have you ever seen the scholar gypsy? And he also asks the boys who are scaring the crows in their fields, and he generally asks that whether you have seen the scholar gypsy. And sometimes when the speaker lies in his boat during the summertime, then also he wishes that he could see the scholar gypsy. And he also tries to find him in the grass meadows, in the sunshine fields, and around the Cumnor hills also he tries to find the traces of the scholar gypsy. And he keeps asking to people, to wanderers, to shepherds, to boys, whether if they have seen you or whether they have any traces of your whereabouts. Next stanza. For most I know thy lovest retired ground. Thee at the ferry Oxford riders blithe, returning home on summer nights, have met crossing the stripling Thames at Bablock Heath, trailing in the cool streams thy fingers wet, as the punt's rope chops around, and leaning backward in a pensive dream, and fostering in thy lap a heap of flowers, plucked in the shy fields and distant witchwood bowers, and thine eyes resting on the moonlit stream. Now, in this stanza, he creates a very beautiful image that the scholar gypsy is having a boat ride to cross the river Thames. He says that you love retired ground, means you don't love for a longer period of time, you don't love the company of men, you don't love society, but you want to live in retired places. So he says that I imagine that I have seen you returning home on summer night, sitting in a boat and crossing the Thames, and the Thames is making a babbling sound, beautiful image. And he also says that I can imagine that you are reclining, you are sitting in the boat with a reclining back, and you are wetting your fingers in the cold water of this river Thames, as the punt's rope chops around, as the boat's rope makes a sound, and he says that he is leaning backward in a pensive dream. So generally you see that the poet has made use of this word pensive a lot many times, because he has become more thoughtful. He means the scholar gypsy has become more thoughtful since he has been living with the gypsies. He says that I can imagine that you are crossing this river Thames, and you are reclining on your back, and you are having a heap of flowers on the lap. Now, plucked in the shy fields. He has also used this word shy a lot of times. And why shy? Because shy fields, again, this is a figure of speech. And he says that shy fields means those fields where nobody else can be seen. So, the distant witchwood bowers, and thine eyes resting on the moonlit stream. So he is reclining in such a way that he is looking at the stars. He is looking at the moonlit stream also. Next stanza. And they land, and thou art seen no more. Maidens, who from the distant hamlets come to dance around the fly-field elm in May, oft through the darkening fields have seen thee roam, or cross a stile into the public way. Oft thou hast given them store of flowers, the frail-leaved white anemone, dark bluebells drenched with dew of summer eves, and purple orchises with spotted leaves, but none hath words she can report of thee. Another beautiful image created by the poet. He says that the speaker says that when he takes a boat ride, and when people are made conscious of your presence, you fly from there. It has become his habit that he does not stop for a period of time, a long period of time, at one single place. When people are conscious of his presence, he moves away to another place. He says that when maidens come to dance from distant hamlets, a small village, when there are festivities going on, what do? You have been seen crossing a stile into the public way. Now you see, like the gypsies, he is like his manners are also rough. He does not take the smooth, straight way, but he crosses the stile to join the public way. Now he says that he gifts that heap of flowers to beautiful maidens, half the frail-leaved white anemone. It is a name of a plant. Dark bluebells. Again, it is a name of a flower. Drenched with dews of summer eves. Means these flowers are so fresh and beautiful. And he gifts those flowers to the maidens. But none hath word she can report of thee. He gives the gift of those flowers, the bunch of flowers, and he flees away. Flees away means he leaves the place and he goes away from there. Nobody can trace your whereabouts. Nobody can trace where exactly you can be found. Next stanza. And above God's store bridge, when hay time is here, in June, and many a scythe in sunshine flames, men, who through those wide fields of breezy grass, where black-winged swallows haunt the glittering Thames, to bathe in the abandoned leisure pass, have often passed thee near, sitting upon the river bank overgrown. Marked thine outlandish garb, thy figure spare, thy dark vague eyes and soft abstracted air, but when they come from bathing, thou wast gone. Now he is talking of the summer time of June. Now many people are seen bathing under the Godstow Bridge, and many a scythe in sunshine flames, men who through those wide fields of breezy grass. Now when these farmers are suffering from heat, they come to have a bath in the Thames, glittering Thames. It is shining by the sunshine, to bathe in the abandoned Lasher Pass. Lasher means rope pass. So people, the farmers, come here to have a cool bath. So these people have often seen you having sitting on the river bank, sitting on the overgrown river bank. Now they have also noticed your your style of dressing. Now they noticed that you wear outlandish garbs. Garb means clothes, and thy figure spare. Now you are very thin. He says that a scholar gypsy is thin because he is always generally in a pensive mood. And people say that your eyes are dark and vague. Why vague? Because he is lost in meditation, and soft abstracted hair. But when they came from bathing, whenever they come out of the river after bathing, they want to see you close by. But thou was gone, as is his habit, that he leaves a place very soon. He does not want to stay at a single place because this is the trait of the gypsies he has been living with. Next stanza. At some lone homestead in Cumnor Hills, where at her open door the housewife dance, thou hast been seen or hanging on the gate, to watch the threshers in the mossy barns, children who early range these slopes and late for cresses from the hills, have known thee eyeing all an April day the springing pastures and the feeding kine, and marked thee when the stars come out and shine through the long dewy grass move slowly away. Now the poet is explaining all the seasons in which scholar gypsy was found, all the times of the day and all the places. It is a very beautiful imagination of the whereabouts of the scholar gypsy. In this stanza, he says that sometimes you have been seen in some homestead in Cumnor Hills. Now, he describes in a very beautiful manner that in a homestead, generally what the housewives do, they do some patchwork and they are waiting for their husbands to return from the field. Now, there you have been seen and or hanging on a gate to watch the threshers. Sometimes you are hanging, you are just standing on the gate and you are watching the threshing machine to cut the crop in the mossy barns. And sometimes children have seen you and they have seen you looking at the threshers all in an April day. And they have also seen you in the green pastures, springing pastures, and the feeding kine. Feeding kine means cows who are feeding on the green pastures. And all these people have noticed thee, that when the stars come out and shine, you flee away from there. You move away, as is your habit to move away. So this is all for today. We will continue tomorrow. Thank you.